Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lights Out with Johnny Roberts. Coming up on this week's episode, we're going to teach you what you need to know when it comes to wagering on NASCAR. And also, the one and only Kenny Wallace is going to stop by to talk about the early days of Speed Channel. That's coming up. But right now, in the news, of course, one of the big items is the fact that Kyle Larson has gotten the waiver from NASCAR to participate in this year's playoffs, despite the fact that he missed the start to one of the races, the Coke 600. As everybody knows by now, he was racing in Indy when the race got delayed by rain, and he stayed with that effort. First of all, folks, if you thought that he wasn't going to get the waiver, you thought wrong. The precedent had been set. They had been giving out waivers for a lot of different things, and this one certainly qualified because of past decisions. But also, the big picture here is that it was the Indy 500. Kyle Larson brought a ton of attention to both of these races. It's hard to say exactly how many more tickets were sold or more pairs of eyes were on the broadcast, but it certainly went up. And again, it's not like he skipped one race to do something small. It was the Indy 500, and therefore a dangerous precedent would have been set by NASCAR if they didn't give him the waiver, because therefore no one would ever try the double again. And as was evident last weekend at Sonoma, we need Kyle Larson in every NASCAR event, especially the playoffs. It's Lights Out with Johnny Roberts, and I'd like to welcome in my good friend, Kenny Wallace. Kenny, it's so funny to think back, however many years ago it was, that we started doing TV together. We didn't really know what we were supposed to do. We just kind of figured it out and had fun.
Yeah, we really did, Johnny. I remember when we started out, we were in studio. I remember the very moment, and we got done with the show down there, Sunbelt Studios, south of Charlotte.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the show was over, and they came out and they said, "Hey, we're going to take this on the road." You remember that?
Very so well. And Kenny, that was the beginning of something that was so special. I mean, we didn't really know at the time what it was going to be like, but the fans accepted it so much, and we were so lucky to be part of that, and never really realized how much fun we were in for.
There's always an old saying, Johnny. It's the best laid plans are the ones that you don't plan. And little did we know that 5,000 people would show up to hear you were the leader, and you taught me all about TV. And then we had Jimmy Spencer, and our show was fun, but it was controversial, and everybody tuned in. And I think something that I'll never forget is NASCAR race day had the second best ratings of anything. It was the Cup Series #1, and then it was us, and then it was the Xfinity Series, and it was the IndyCar Series. It was crazy.
It was. And remember stuff like, Kenny, first of all, I remember the monkey wearing a diaper, drinking a Bud Light in New Hampshire.
You cannot plan that stuff. And you and I saw that video come up on YouTube here lately. One of the fans shared it, and you and I, I think it was Jimmy Spencer, we're doing serious TV. And I think I was the one, because I'm crazy. I said, all right, look, it's very hard for me to ignore there's a monkey drinking beer. And then we rolled with it because, Johnny, it was live TV, and we were the first.
Yeah, I liked so much about it, Kenny, is that we weren't ever scripted, and we didn't ever really have any rules. And remember Muscles, Chris Long, our boss, told us, go out there, go crazy, but be yourselves.
Yeah, no doubt. I remember when we were worried, would the fans know where we're at for NASCAR race day? So I called Jegs up, one of my sponsors. They sent like 500 hats, and you were the leader of the ship, so you were leading us. But Muscle says, go out there, stand on top of that desk. So I went on top of that desk, and I threw hats everywhere. And we quit doing that about 2 months later because we had all the people we needed after that.
Yep, exactly. So looking back at that, Kenny, I remember one day we were walking through the garage area, you, me, and Spence, and Carl Edwards stopped us. And he grabbed you and Spence, and he said, guys, Thank you so much. You're the only people that are telling it like it is.
And I know that that was 99.9% good. I think at only one time, uh, and it was my dear friend Bobby Labonte. I think you said to me, you said, Kenny Wallace, how come Tony Stewart's team is running better than Bobby Labonte's team? Now, mind you, they were teammates. And I said the reason Tony Stewart's running better is he has better engineers. Well, Tony, or not Tony, but Bobby
Yeah,
Labonte
yeah.
calls me up and he was mad.
There were such special memories, and I just really appreciate your friendship, guidance, and help along the way.
Hey, we're not done. We're still doing it. These
Yeah, we are right now.
now we're at yeah. I mean, we're at Track, and our next one's Loud, New Hampshire, and that's where the monkey was drinking the beer. So maybe
He
we'll
was.
see him again in two.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny, thank you so much. I know you guys are on the road. It's pretty cool. We're able to tune into you and talk to you on the road.
Technology is unbelievable, and we're going to see that with these NASCAR races. They're going, the streaming apps next year, and everybody's doing interviews on cell phones. It's a new world, but it's exciting. So hold on. Hey, Johnny, thanks for having me on.
Hey, Kenna, wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you, brother. Want to have you back soon. And welcome back, everybody, to Lights Out with Johnny Roberts. Each year, billions of dollars are wagered on professional sports, and a lot of that money comes from the world of NASCAR. Today, we want to talk to a good old friend, Jeff Cuyandro, who is a professional when it comes to these things, wagering on NASCAR. Jeff, it's great to see you, man. It's great to talk to you. It's been too long. But when you look at the overall landscape of wagering, what does NASCAR have to offer?
John, it's great to be with you again. NASCAR offers a wide menu of bets to choose from. As a bettor can look, they've got all sorts of different wagers. You can pick a driver to win a race. You can pick a simple head to head matchup, which generally just means that one driver just must finish better than his rival. Those are typically the better bets to make when you're wagering on NASCAR because you can find a smaller takeout where you might only have a 90%. The lines would be at minus 110, and essentially you would earn 91 cents on the dollar for every time you won. So you want to shop your bets around, stay away from minus 120s and more. Try to look for underdogs and 110s.
So, Jeff, when you look back at the race that just concluded with Kyle Larson winning Sonoma, how did that play out for the wagerers of the world?
Well, if you had Kyle Larson, it paid out quite well. It was about plus 475 going into the weekend, and he really didn't do anything to hurt his chances. He looked fairly good. All the Hendrick cars looked good. So there was action on Elliott. There was action on Reddick naturally starting up front. Larson snuck through and paid anywhere from about 4-1 to as high as 5.5-1.
So here we go to a brand new racetrack in Iowa where the Cup Series hasn't raced before. How do you approach this from a betting standpoint?
Well, John, as you can see over my shoulder here, I've got a yellow flag, and that is going to indicate caution for this week's wagering. And the reason for that is because the Cup Series has not raced at Iowa before. We know the Xfinity Series has raced, and certainly drivers like Christopher Bell, who is the favorite right now, anywhere from plus 380 to as much as 5-1. Is the favorite, followed by Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, both at about 7-1. I think what you really got to look at this week is that you've had Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, and Brad Keselowski, who all did tire testing at Iowa. And I think that advantage, that time, really gives them a leg up on the competition headed into the weekend.
Jeff, thank you so much for the time, man, and the insight. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you on all the time here, being a big part of the program and helping us all make some money.
Absolutely. Thank you, John, very much. Great to see you again.
Time to end the show the way we do every week with this week's edition of Ward Burton Said It. In a recent radio interview, Ward Burton said, "JR, give me 30 minutes and I'll have you loving snakes and salamanders." Haven't given Ward the 30 minutes yet, but that's not to say that it won't happen. Hey, want to say a special thanks to Barry Cantrell at Stillhouse for the wonderful graphics they provided for the show today. So long, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.